We are live now.
Good evening, everybody. We are here today with a special show, and of course, it is Beauty, Brains, Bravery. And need we really say more when we say beauty, brains, bravery? And which is why I would like to introduce to you all these beautiful women who are here today. And we are really honored to be with this esteemed panel of beauty with brains and bravery. A very warm welcome to all you beautiful women here, and that includes me. But I would actually like to you all, hope all of you are doing well.
Good evening, Rajashri.
Okay, so I will actually go ahead with giving a quick introduction of each of you, and from we will actually take it up ahead from there. So to begin with, we have our first beauty, Dr. Latika Purohit. Of course, she is one of the finest diabetologists in the Mumbai city. And here is her extensive resume. She's, of course, done her MBBS and an MD and his diploma in diabetology. And of course, she also runs a lot of conferences and academic programs in diabetes, and she currently is one of the esteemed members of the RSSDI, which is one of the societies. The next one, of course, is another friend, Beauty, which is who was an entrepreneur, Sonia Mahajani. She is into market research for a long period now, almost 3 decades. She has been working in it. The next one is Dr. Lata, another beauty, and she brings multifaceted to our whole group today out here. She is an ophthalmologist, but along with that, also is a founder of a foundation, which is Nisarg Foundation, very vital in today's current environment. Then we have another rare beauty who is Rupal, and Rupal is actually a screenwriter, filmmaker, and an author. And we would definitely want to know a lot from her as well. Followed by beauty, who is also with a lot of bravery, is Minakshi Sapru. She's another rare one. She's headed sales, and that's an amazing role she plays. Apart from that, she also is into teaching, training so many more men and women across to excel in their marketing and sales jobs. Apart from that, we have Rajalakshmi Joshi, another very close friend. She's of course a motivational speaker, but apart from that, you can actually see her on the television, leading so many of these strong discussions going on these days on the news channels like Times Now and so many more. But she professionally also is a very good architect, and I'm sure she's going to bring a lot of light to the discussion today. And then we have another beauty, Dr. Purvi Chawla. She's a consultant diabetologist and again, another entrepreneur balancing out so many acts. She's director of clinical research at her Diabetes Institute in Mumbai again. She also does multifaceted work in this area, doing several things, and we will learn that from herself. And of course, Shilpa Tikku. Shilpa and I have actually been very active in bringing this program together, and thanks to her motivation and support in actually bringing all this together. She herself is an entrepreneur based in the US as well, and so glad to have her here. We'll love to hear more about her also. And we have Radhika. Radhika actually, I would say, really instigated us to take this program forward in this way. That is the reason why we have such a beautiful panel today out here, because Radhika was here with us last week and we had an amazing talk with her, which really motivated me as well to go forth with more things. So welcome, Radhika. And one other beautiful lady who I'm a big fan of, I idolize, is Dr. Girija Wagh. We do a lot of work extensively for women health together, but she is one lady who can, inspire so many women, and she continuously does that. She gets the chance to do that through her profession as well. So we will love to hear her opinions, as she does call herself a staunch feminist herself. So really looking forward. One more lady whom I always say is ever beautiful. And of course, with ever beautiful comes with a lot of brains. And that is Dr. Meeta Deshpande. She, again, has been into the diabetes and obesity practice for almost 3 decades. And she's doing wonderful work in this area. We will learn more about it from her in today's session. And of course, all of these beauties, we will be having separate sessions and we will get to learn more about them as well. And one other close friend, Dr. Shilpa Joshi, simple as she seems, but has a lot of substance with her. She is a registered dietitian in Mumbai, and of course also is the National Vice President with the Indian Dietetic Association. So proud to even have her here. And of course, someone with beauty makes others look beautiful is Neha Bhandari. She does exquisite work, and barely seeing just her work on Facebook, I'm already her fan and already a fan of her initiative. So Neha, thanks for actually accepting the invite and being with us today and sharing your secrets of your success with us. So that's really the whole beautiful bouquet of flowers we have here today with us. And but then, why we would all, and all the women who are attending would ask the question, why really this kind of a launch, and what does it really mean? So I would like to, I had really put those questions slides out here. So what really is the purpose? When Beauty with Brains and Bravery is really, need we say more? But then why do we bring them on a platform like that? My idea behind it was, and I'm glad that most of the who are on the panel today are also very much liking the idea, and that is the purpose really to encourage, enrich, and help empower women to aspire and excel professionally and personally. That's really the purpose, I think, why we gathered here today. Through achieving that purpose, I think the mission here is to build a network of world's most sought after women professionals, so that they could share their knowledge, skills, experiences, opportunities, resources, dreams, aspirations, and the list is really long. But along with that, also sharing their challenges, fears, shortcomings, requirements, and while we all are really going to pursue a common goal of leading richer and more fulfilling lives. So that's the thought on which we are today, and why today's live program and this initiative is because we want to celebrate the success of these great women professionals from the world, and to stir the ecosystem. So we have more and more, I would say, Saraswatis, which we consider as an idol of knowledge and intelligence, and Lakshmis, because it is wealth, and wealth is not only monetary, but wealth in different terms. And of course, depictive of Durgas, but Nirbhayas, I call them. So, more the number of Nirbhayas we have on the street, and more the number of Saraswatis and Lakshmis that we have, I think our neighborhood will be more enlightened and more safer. So these are my few thoughts before, I actually open it up to our beautiful panel today. And, I would actually request each of you to give your introduction, trying to keep it brief. I know because we are a lot of us, and it's difficult to keep it brief with most of us having almost 3 decades of experience and maybe 5 decades of life that we have enjoyed. So if you all can start, and I'll probably take it up from the top of the screen, and that's where we could go in that order. And we would also like to hear your thoughts on this initiative, or anything that you have done in the past and would like to initiate with us. So I think we will start with Dr. Neeta, because she's right first out there on my screen panel. Neeta, you'll have to just unmute.
Yeah. First of all, thanks, Rajeshri, for bringing all this together and bringing all of us together on this platform. It really feels wonderful. As you said, I need to be brief because we need to go ahead with the program. Well, just to give you a brief of what I am and what I have done, I'm a consultant diabetologist and an obesity physician. And my tryst with medicine started in 1984, somewhat like 30 years ago. And a friend of mine recently told me that she remembers me telling her that I wanted to be a doctor when I was in kindergarten. And I was amazed because I didn't really remember that. So ever since I can remember, I know I've always wanted to be a doctor because my father was one and I looked up to him. Well, what I would like to say here is, in the journey of what I'm doing so many different things, including obesity research, nutrition and diabetes, and a charity foundation, and all of these rolled in together rather than just going linearly with just practice. What I felt has seen me through all of this is that my penchant for going into the depth of things, but also spreading myself thin a lot. So going both vertically and horizontally, I think has helped me a lot. The second thing was the family support. I don't mean this to be a forum to say my thank yous to everybody, of course not, but definitely family support has played a role. And one other thing that I think that has played a role is the fact that I was never guilty of anything. I never felt guilt for anything, and I think that is what made me go far ahead, very freely, very independently, without a feeling of guilt towards anything or anybody. So I think maybe we can talk a little more as the thing pans out.
Yes, sure. You did hit some of the right nails which we all experienced together. Sonia, I think you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, this is Sonia. Quite different from what Neeta does. I work in a completely different space, which is basically connecting all of us customers to companies. I think in my brain, it was all about connecting the dots, which I do all the time. Who's saying, what is it, constantly laddering onto emotions. What are we feeling? What are we doing? Actually trained engineer who started her career on the shop floor in the man's world, actually. Never felt deterred by that. Did my marketing post that. Now working in the research field for 26 years. Doesn't feel like that. It feels like it was yesterday. So I think that's the best part. Actually, I've always felt equal and always felt empowered. Never felt that there was anything in this world that I couldn't do, or I had to, like you said, feel guilty about it, or I had to justify my actions. Maybe those are the strokes that we receive from childhood, and we are all lucky to be in families where, you know, especially now, like I talk to my friends, and in lockdown in India without maids, I think everything is equally distributed. That itself tells us what women empowerment is all about. I just love my work, and I do many things, like you said, spread myself thin. I run a company. I love to act in plays. I just did some work. I am a trained Kathak dancer. I choreograph. I also host some shows through my Rotary, do social work. So I love spreading myself thin. And I think this is the worst time for a person like me to sit at home, because I need or I want to be in 25 places at the same time.
Wonderful. And in the excitement, actually, I did not let Shilpa say anything and started with the introductions. But Shilpa, we definitely want you to introduce yourself and also say a few words, you know, because this is something which you and I, this is a product of, or rather the products were already there, but just sort of motivated us to take it to the next level through this lockdown, really. And I mean, I don't know if the pandemic has been bad, but you know, this was a good thing we were able to trigger through all this. So if you would want to say both of it, I think it'll be a pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, firstly, thank you so much, Rajyasree, for putting this wonderful panel together. I know you did this literally in 2 days, and the fact that everybody out here, you know, wanted to come here and share their success stories is pretty much very telling in its own way. And I truly am so honored and privileged to be sharing my time with all you incredible women. So thank you so much for taking the time out to come here today. Well, about me personally, you know, I am an environmental engineer. I have an MBA, and I have my own market research and consulting company. I have been doing market research and consulting for the last 17 years now. Yeah. And over and above that, I also have a food blog, which is very interesting. They're completely two different things. But the reason why I started my food blog was because I was extremely passionate about Kashmiri food. And when I moved to the US, I realized that I really struggled on a day-to-day basis to be able to, you know, feed my family with healthy recipes. And that's when I realized that I really wanted to empower people as well as preserve the Kashmiri culture for the next generation. Because honestly, I do feel that, you know, Kashmiri Pandits are a very small community, and the next generation, there are going to be very few of them, and we're really losing our culture in the whole process. So I really wanted to document all our recipes because there really wasn't anything out there, and share my passion about food with the whole world. And it has been very, very empowering because, you know, the kind of responses that I've been getting from people worldwide has been incredible. Other than that, I am super busy. I have 2 little kids, you know, age 9 and 7, and I spend a lot of time with them, and I do a lot of community service as well here in the US. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. So thank you again for being there, like always. The next on the screen is Dr. Lata, and I've said Beauty Lata. I have to say Beauty Lata. So again, a very multifaceted person. So happy to see you here again, Lata.
Thank you, Rajyasree, for having me here. And I would say it's such a big, you know, platform to interact with all of you all. I mean, it's so interesting. I just lost when you took my name because I was so engrossed listening to all of you all and getting to know. So thank you so much. It's nice to know so many ladies out there who are doing so many things besides their own profession. So to give a small glimpse into what I am a practicing ophthalmologist, my own setup. That is, we have our own hospital, 2 teenage kids. Somehow something struck 8 to 10 years back, and something like an activism kind of spirit got into me about things which are not right in the society. So in fact, the other day I was discussing this issues related to environment with somebody. They said, please carry your visiting card which says you're a doctor, because somewhere we have lost that you've been often not just more of an environmentalist. But I feel each of us, and especially ladies, because we have that sixth sense and we have the nurturing nature. You know, we want to protect and preserve things. And I think that speaks volumes about females when they step into the space where the need is there to address issues which are going to affect us and our coming generation. So taking forward, Rajyasree, I will be very happy to share a lot of projects which we are doing. We're doing, Shilpa, I would love to interact with you. When I heard you're an environmental engineer, it's really nice because I was not trained about this. I was trained as a doctor, but I have learned so much. In the 7 years, I have been actually learning, and that is the excitement of the journey. So learning a lot of things, meeting people, networking, taking small things from everybody, because I think everybody teaches you so many things. And I'm blessed to be in this space. Thank you so much. And let's look forward how we're going to, build this spirit here.
Beautiful again to hear from you, Lata. And I'm sure a lot of us would also try to dare what you are doing. And I think we will talk about it as we progress in this show. We have Nia next on the screen. I know it's coming like a surprise to some of you all because you're probably seeing each other differently. But do tell us, because you are very serious about what you do, and we would love to hear something about your successes in your journey.
Well, thank you so much for having me here today. And I'm really excited to be here, firstly, and also about the fact that we are all women and sharing our stories, because I personally believe a lot in storytelling, because my story actually goes back to listening to other people tell me their stories and show their vulnerability. And that's where I have been able to actually make something out of my life as well. So I'm obviously from India, and I now live in Luxembourg, but we also moved to the US prior to Luxembourg and then came here. And I have a business in personal styling. So I have to say that when I started my business in the first place, I was very doubtful as to why would somebody want to wear Western wear clothes recommended by an Indian in an environment where people speak Luxembourgish, French, and German. So it was a lot of things that I had to rack my brains and actually gain confidence from other women that I could actually do it. So I have to say that I had attended an event like today about 6 years back, wherein it was a group called the Mumpreneurs, wherein it was about mothers who are wanting to be entrepreneurs. So it was a group called Mumpreneurs, and that's where everybody came and spoke about themselves and their stories and the challenges and how everyone went out of their comfort zone to actually create something wonderful for themselves, both professionally and personally. And that was the day that I actually went home and decided that I'll do a business of my own, and that'll be a personal styling business. So now I have a background, of course, in fashion, and I worked with the Global Stores Private Limited in India. So I have a background and I have my education, like the MBA I have done from NIFT in India. So I had the background, but I never thought of converting that into a business. So it's, just listening to other people's stories and getting inspired and wanting to do something of your own. And moving to Luxembourg, I realized that I obviously didn't speak the languages of the country. And so that is again a deterrent. But I also felt that it was such a niche that it was required, because 60% of individuals in Luxembourg are actually expats. So, and everybody speaks English. But when you don't go out and speak to people, you never know. So sharing your stories and actually showing that you are vulnerable and you need help really, really helps in actually, coming out of your own comfort zone and creating something for yourself. So now I have a business wherein I help people dress better. It sounds very frivolous, but I have to say that when you put yourself, your best self forward, you are just a little more confident to make those connections and interact with people and put yourself out there. So that's what I do. And at the same time, I help people shop as well as go shopping with them, go and help, revamp their wardrobe. So it's a very fun job. And that's the best part of it. And of course, I love what I do. So, and now because of the lockdown, I've also started doing it online. So that's been a big change. I was always holding myself back as to no, I don't want to meet people online. But with the coronavirus coming in, I had no choice. So now I also do the services online. Yes, so that's what I do. It's very different from everybody else here in the group, but yeah, I think that's what's making the group more interesting. I hope so.
Yes. But that's great to know that something like this really triggered you into entrepreneurship. So this kind of getting together can make the change in your
Absolutely,
lives, and a positive one. So
absolutely.
that's really good to know. Next one is Shilpa, of course. Shilpa, we would love to hear from you.
So this is me, Shilpa, right? Not yeah. Because there are.
Oh yeah, it's you,
Yeah.
Shilpa. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So hi, hello everybody. Hi, thank you, Rajeshri, for having me here. And just to say something about myself, actually, I'm a trained microbiologist. 22 years back, I decided to change my career, and I took dietetics, and that was post having two kids. So I had two babies, and I was into a new profession. I took up dietetics, and then there is something called as registered dietitian. So I did those exams, and since then I have been into private practice of dietetics in Mumbai, more specifically in Bandra. Post that, I had keen interest in diabetes, so I took up diabetes education. I got myself trained specifically in insulin pumps and other things. And since then, I have been doing a lot of diabetes education training in India. I'm also part of Indian Dietetic Association. I'm the national vice president. And besides this, I'm mom to two very grown-up kids who are in their 20s. And I love dancing. I'm a trained Bharatanatyam dancer. So even today, I try to do a couple of hours a week, if not every day. Lockdown actually I should be doing much more. Just that can't get into the zone of doing much more than that. And I enjoy cooking. I like to cook dietetic food, as my kids would call it. So healthy food. And I also do a lot of programs on Instagram, whereby I call, Nita was on my program last week. We spoke about survival of diabetes. That program is called Educational Snacking. And I invite people from various aspects of, who work in various aspects of health, psychologists, exercise specialists, doctors, dietitians, where we discuss about health, various aspects of health, just to empower other dietitians to get more knowledge. Also, other doctors who are there, and a lot of patients, because a lot of patients, if they don't want to ask something one-on-one, when you do it virtually, you really don't know the face of the person who is asking. And I think it has become very popular. So I also welcome all of you. If there is one this Friday as well. So this is me in nutshell. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Great. After Shilpa, Zoshi, we have Radhika back with us today. So yeah, Radhika, so nice to see you again. And you really inspired me to and of course with Shilpa to take things forward more actively. We just had a great time with you last time, but if you'd like to say a few words and tell us about you again.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rajeshri. I'm so glad and so honored to be part of this panel today. I was, like you said, I was a debut guest on this program, the new forum that you've started, Beauty with Bravery and Brains. It's, I think it brings the essence of being a woman together. A little bit about myself. I come from the state of Punjab. I was born and brought up there. I did my chemical engineering in my hometown in Firozpur. And then I moved to Bangalore to work for a software company called Infosys. Most of you must have heard about it. So from a software engineer, now I am in the US working with McKinsey as a management consultant. I think my story would resonate with a lot of people who are fighters, who don't give up, who think that dreams don't know any bounds, and there is it's never too late to go pursue your dreams. That's really my story. I am passionate about women empowerment. I've always been very passionate about this topic right from when I was a child. I've seen my own mother struggle through a lot of different things, and I've felt very strongly about those things. Thankfully, she gave me the empowerment to go pursue my dreams. There was no bounds to what I could do or what I could not do. And so here I am, and I want to empower other women to do the same. My long-term dream is to be an entrepreneur, help women come back from maternity into the workforce with least resistance. That's really my goal. And I'm here to connect with empowered women like you and more to be able to motivate myself towards that dream. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. I think that's really the ethos of what we're really trying to do out here, and I'm glad to have you on board with us as well. Next one is our author, and she's completely from a different field, and it's such a pleasure to again, like Neha, have someone just completely from a diverse field and a very interesting creative field. So Rupal, we would love to hear from you.
Thanks, Rajeshri. I'm very happy to be here among such esteemed doctors panel. I'm a bit intimidated by all the doctors here. But no, very happy to add some color to this medical fraternity. I'm an author, screenwriter, and filmmaker. And I have a book called The Little Rainmaker, which was published in India 2 years ago. And I work a lot with children. I conduct a lot of workshops, and which involve storytelling around the themes of gender sensitization, empathy building, and creative writing, of course. Up until March, I was working for this platform called Cool Kanya, which starts with a K, which is actually a career platform to bring women to the careers they love. It's an all women's community where women can openly discuss their career issues, whatever challenges they have. In fact, I had reached out to Radhika and we covered her, we featured her story as well on our platform, and I was the content head for that platform. And in fact, during that stint, I came across many, many, many women, speaking to them. And I realized that what is most important is for women to share their stories. I think for so long, women have been just sharing one kind of story, not just one story of the home and the hearth, of the domestic space. So women very readily, share recipes to food. They will very readily share their domestic issues or domestic problems. But we very rarely see women saying, "Oh, I'm running this business, and this is the problem I'm facing. Can someone help me?" We don't see platforms like that, and I think that's so essential for women to discuss different kinds of stories, because stories give possibilities. As an author and a filmmaker, obviously that's the space where I come from. Stories give us dreams. And I hope that after this session, when people who are watching this can see so many different stories and the backgrounds, where we have come from and wherever we have reached, it doesn't matter, piche, aage, all of that doesn't matter. But the fact that we have broken certain belief systems in our lives, those old patterns that we have been constantly, raising women on. I think that is essential, to be breaking those old patterns and to redefine the rules, because I truly believe that, all these ideas about like women are the nurturers and men are the doers. I think we need to break out of all that. I think men are equally the nurturers, women are equally the doers, and we have to balance both the feminine and masculine principle in every individual. That's when the society will really progress and move forward. So I come from that space. And I am also a single mother to a 6-year-old son who keeps me on my toes all the time. And very happy to be a mom. It's the best decision of my life to have a child. Thank you. Yeah, very happy to be here.
Great. Rupal, again, I think, Shilpa, when we were planning to get this panel together, I think we're already realizing what we have done, isn't it?
Yes.
I guess this is exactly what it's half of you have given your introductions, and this is really what we are attempting. And I'm sure all of you are realizing that. And on that note, I think I will have our next beauty. I love to call her Lotika. I mean, ma'am, we will definitely and the successes that you've seen, and what would you say? Yeah.
Thank you, Rajeshri, for this invitation, and thanks for putting this platform together. It's really nice to listen to the other women achievers who are sharing all that they have been able to go through and still probably break the glass ceiling. So, and I am basically a doctor. I don't think I ever thought of her. And of course, my father and grandfather were too, and great-grandfather. So in our family, it was always that I would be a doctor, and I wanted to be a doctor. And I always enjoyed, helping people to, heal, or even now, like as a diabetologist, the thing that gives me, I think that gives me a different kind of high, which no amount of anything else can. Besides that, of course, I'm a mother to 2 children, which also has been really an exciting journey. Working with the children and watching them grow is a lot of fun too. And I'm also an entrepreneur, and we have always had this thing about helping those who are a little unfortunate. I won't say little unfortunate or anything. I would like to help everybody, but so I am a Rotarian also, and we are a proud member of Bombay Midtown now, and we're doing a lot in that area too. So these are a few things that I managed to juggle, and that's about it. Yeah.
Great. That's so good to know from you, ma'am. I mean, again, hearing from women like you itself is encouraging for women like us. So I think with that, I think the orders have got shuffled on the screen, but I think the next one is really Raj Lakshmi here. And I think we share part of our name, and along with a part of our name, I guess people have been saying there is a lot that we share in common. But Raji, it's really nice to have you here, because you've also been one of my old supporting arm for taking all these things forward. And it's always been a pleasure to hear from you and see the amount of work that you do. And every time there's something new that you have done. So it's really inspiring to have you as a friend and to have you here. So I guess we will definitely want to hear from you.
Yeah, hi everyone, and thank you so much, Rajeshri, for having me over on your panel for the second time now. And it's really lovely to see all these lovely ladies like you really brought together something that I could say they are really a symbol of women empowerment. So each one, I mean, hearing the success stories of each one, it's really, really inspiring. And so, I'm really humbled, and I'm really honored to be on this panel. And so I would like to say that I'm an architect by profession. Okay, but then I also do many other things also, like I am a motivational speaker, I'm a writer, I'm a TEDx speaker, and I also appear on a lot of television debates, and also I am into a lot of different social activities. I run I head an initiative for the benefit of the girl child. So now recently in an interview, somebody asked me, so when and how did you switch from architecture to being a political analyst, or speaking on being on these debates, or being a motivational speaker? So I told her, I have not switched from architecture to any of this. I am doing all of this. So it's like I keep wearing different hats at different times. And apart from all of that, like a lot of you told just a while ago, I also wear a hat of a mom, which I think I'm really proud of. and looking at the success stories of all you wonderful ladies. I'm sure that my daughter, she must be watching this. She also must be feeling very inspired. So now I would just like to share about how it was possible for me to do all of this, because a lot of people were, they ask me, what exactly do you do? Like Dr. Lata was saying, they tell me, do you still do architecture? I said, yes, I do. So how do I do that? So as an architect, I'm expected to be a creative person. So that is how, I've always been into a lot of creative writing, and I also am into spiritual writing, because I used to, I take spiritual guidance from my Guruji. So then I used to, actually edit a news magazine for my Guruji. So from there, I got this thing of, spiritual thinking, and, trying to motivate people and trying to help them or guide them, when they were feeling down or when they were feeling low in their life. So that is how I started getting more and more into motivational talks, and, into a lot of public speaking. And from there came this thing of TEDx talks. So again, I was listening to Shilpa and Dr. Lata. They were speaking about the environment. So my second TEDx talk was about the environment, and about how each one of us can do something to be able to save the environment. So that was what my second TEDx talk was about. So now, so that is how, I got slowly into public speaking and motivational speaking also. And then I was very expressive, and I always felt that, when we see something wrong happening, or when we see that something is lacking, I feel that each one of us can take up an initiative. Each one of us has that power in us to do something about it. So I saw some things lacking, in the schools, in some facilities in public areas, especially for women. For when I was looking for college admissions for my daughter. So at that time, I thought that if I am involved in some government initiatives, then maybe I'll be able to actually make a proper, some kind of a headway in this. So that is how I got into, those initiatives, and that is how I became active politically also. And that led me to become a political analyst on television debates. So I've always been very expressive on social media or wherever I go. So it's like, even if what I believe is that, whatever you do, if you do it with a strong purpose, or if you really believe in it, nothing can stop you. This is what I've always believed. So it's like, we set our own boundaries, we set our own limitations. So the minute we start thinking, not just beyond the box, this is what one of my most of my motivational talks are about, that don't think like, don't think outside the box, think like there is no box. So, when we start thinking that, okay, I can only do this or I can only do that, then you limit yourself. But then when you start thinking that I can do this also and this also, so we are able to balance everything. So just like, as a mom, most of us, we balance so many things in life. So that is how we are able to take on a whole lot more than, I think that, more than men, we are able to actually juggle a lot of things. So we are able to run a lot of magic. So I think, that spirit in us, that is what keeps us a little ahead, that gives us a little edge. And I think that, that is how we should be able to think like there is no box, and how, like moms, we try to find some way out of convincing our children to do something. Similarly, we should be able to think, something differently, to find ways to, achieve what we want to do. I think that would help us find success in whatever we want to do. So think like there is no box at all, and go achieve your dreams. This is what I believe in. I think you're on mute, Rajeshri.
Yeah, so we I said that was an excellent thought again. So on that thought again, I would we still have 3 more introductions to go, and it's just amazing. It just feels like keeping on listening to all of you. So the next one on my screen is again one more great beauty, and that is Dr. Again, I have to call her Girija ma'am. So Girija ma'am, over to you. You're sitting in your OPD again in action as always.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
we would definitely want to hear from you on
Yeah.
a little bit about your success, of your big success, and also about what you really think about this whole womanhood, because I of course know your thoughts, but we would all of us would like to hear about it.
You know, I want to become a woman and always remain a woman and never ever change this possibility ever, because I feel it has a huge vista of opinions, opportunities, and perceptions, which nothing else in this world can get you. I'm a gynecologist and I love to be one, and through my profession as a gynecologist, I have been able to reach out to women, especially for their health needs, and I enjoy doing each and every bit of that wonderfully. I've been in practice for the past about 29 to 30 years now. I'm a professor, I'm a researcher, and I have a lot of, I'm a published writer, in the sense that I write a lot of science, but I also write blogs on my website, which are much appreciated by patients. And this is only for patient education. I don't charge them or anything like that. What is very important is, and what is striking me the most currently is that as and how the women are getting educated, and of course the women who are coming from a not so well supported backgrounds, these all both ways of women lack a lot of knowledge about self, and I'm really really worried why this is happening. There's something really going wrong with the education and the social structure of our country, and probably we are a confused society with the globalization, and we are really not knowing what we are doing with ourselves. A simple thing like getting pregnant, having deliveries, carrying your pregnancies forwards is hugely challenging. And this is somewhere, Rajeshri, I'm looking for this platform to come together and maybe, some come up with some such kind of things. Like I can see that this is an array of women who have been successful, who have reached, from various ways they have changed their tracks. But then every time there's a huge awareness and context, not only about self, but the family as well as the society. That's what I saw as a commonality in everybody who was talking just now. And that is something which I feel is hugely lacking in my patients, especially when it comes to their gynecological issues, maybe their menstrual abnormalities or any kind of disorders, even thinking patterns, the family lives. Somewhere we are going wrong, somewhere something's happening. And I always, therefore, many times when I get opportunities like these fora where we can connect to the society more, or whenever I go to speak to some women who are in their retired phases of life, I say, why can't we do something wherein we go out to the society and start having such kind of educative workshops where we can empower people? As far as other empowerments are there, for me, what has been sort of given to my credit is, you must be aware of the fact that in our country we have a lot of issues with maternal health. And one of the issues is that we have a very high number of maternal mortality. And in the last about 5 years to 6 years, Maharashtra state and even countrywide, we have been able to completely bring it down, because this has been a huge advocacy, not only by doctors like us, but this has been possible through our FOXY as an organization. I happen to be a member of the Gynecological Society of India, which is the largest body in the entire world with 30,000 professions under its umbrella. And we constantly do advocacy for women's health. And especially for Maharashtra state, despite being in a private kind of a setup, I made it a point, and as I could see, my president was talking about being vocal about things. I just went and shot a mail to him one day when a woman came and died in our hospital and who did not get any help. And then it sort of, spinned the entire sort of a thing in our country. The DHOs, the district health officers wanted to know who is this Girija Wagh, who is writing mails to somewhere. And this was an inspiration which I got from my teacher. She said, if you feel anything, you must go and talk. And that's how then I got into video conferencing with all the medical officers of the state, wherein we identified issues, we've been able to sort them out. There's a lot of work to be done, of course. And we would be doing, government is trying to do many things, we are trying to do as professionals. But what is something which I want Rajeshri to come out of this forum is, how do we empower the thought processes and thinking of the women of this country? Because I have gone through so many countries in the world, and I feel that many countries are driven by the wisdom of women, which is lacking in our country. Maybe we are lazy of thinking or what it is. This is something that we must really brainstorm about. And thank you so much. Thank you for having me on this forum, and I'm really enjoying interacting with all of you.
Well, I think some of you might have realized why I love her so much, because she always comes out with some objectivity, and she will of course drive me and put me at some work. So, and I being a big fan will start working on it. So
I want to
but
laugh.
but it's really a pleasure to be objective about what we are, and so that it can make a difference to the masses and to the society. She and I, of course, working on the women health programs, and right now we are focusing on PCOS. So and I know I know Dr. Neeta and Shilpa, and most of you have also been trying to make a difference in that area. So it is just to know that if we can take this thing forward, because it's really going to affect the coming generations, not just this generation. Having said that, we have Purvi, Dr. Purvi here. So Purvi, we would definitely want to hear from you as well. So nice to see you, and I know you've been patiently waiting to introduce yourself, but I'm very eager to know more from you.
Thank you so much, Rajashri and Shilpa, for having me with this fantastic, cogent, dynamic, beautiful panel of women. I'm just actually mesmerized by all the introductions, and I'm very humbled. I used to think I'm doing so much, but I think truly I'm not. But anyway, just to give you a brief background, I'm a diabetologist now, practicing in Mumbai, born and bred in Mumbai, but educated partly outside. So first of all, I didn't have anything against being a doctor. I come from a doctor's family. My parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody in my family is a doctor. Would have, I've seen all that right from childhood and had nothing against being a doctor. Always felt it was fantastic that you can help and give back to society so much, more than you can imagine. But with that creative flair that I had right from my childhood, and my mom encouraged that so much that somewhere she brainwashed me to, take up architecture. So I took my admission in architecture, and at the last minute before actually attending the first class, I switched to medicine. Uh, and that transition was almost like I never wanted to be an architect. I always wanted to become a doctor. So anyway, interesting life through MBBS, learned so much, had a lot of fun. Did my residency for a couple of years after medicine, also in internal medicine and skin. And then I switched gears. I wanted to experience US education very badly. And personally, I was also dating somewhere. So I worked with world experts for more than almost 12, 13 years. I was with them, and a fantastic, fabulous journey. My mind opened up to so many new possibilities. And about 6, 7 years ago, Piramal decided to get out of R&D and do next, because they were going to shut down the R&D center. So that's when I transitioned back to clinical practice. That so I transitioned to clinical practice, and I must say that my husband really handheld me in the beginning, because he's an established diabetologist in Mumbai, so that helped a lot. We have our own center, but more known for my part of the work as well. So I think with that, I initiated a lot of patient initiative drives, patient information, material, articles, short videos, recipes, focused on counseling a lot. And in a couple of years, I realized that my interest was all towards women's health and empowering women to look after themselves better, with a huge focus on lifestyle changes. So I consider myself as a student. I will continue to pursue, more information, more knowledge, and uh, more work on, learning more about lifestyle changes and how they impact. But I can also confidently say that it's working really well for all our patients who enroll with us for either weight loss or gestational diabetes management or nutrition counseling, besides all the garden variety of type 2 diabetes that I see. And another short interest that has come up is in type 1 diabetes with technology. So I'm focusing a lot on that, and that also has been received quite well. With that, I have other interests. So for RSSDI, which is the Research Society of Diabetologists, I'm part of the social media team there, and we have several initiatives, including one which is called Diabetes Bites, which we initiated just a few weeks ago, where we get a couple of senior veteran experts in this field and talk about uh, different aspects in different themes related to diabetes and how it impacts the public and what can be done about it. Uh, I also am part of the committee, which is Santa Cruz Medical and Social Association, which is like home ground for me, because right from the time my parents were very active, I've grown up with that association of doctors. And we do a mix of both social activities as well as medical conferences and symposia. And I love, that's my absolute comfort zone. And I love being there. That really relaxes me, even though it's a lot of work at times. And of course, I'm part of UDF, the United Diabetes Forum, started by my husband and his friends. And I'm getting more and more active in that group as well. So with that, I think that's on my professional front. Personally, I'm the only daughter, only wife so far, I think, and only mom. So it's just spreading yourself thin, a lot of travel, but I think I've had very supportive parents and in-laws. They all help out. And my son is an absolute darling. He's very supportive and encouraging of his mom, also because that gives him a lot of free time alone. Um, so that's that. And I think what I believe in is a long time ago, I read that book by Paulo Coelho, and I completely believe in the fact that if you want something badly, then the entire universe conspires to get it to you. So it has worked for me, and I know it will work for anyone who really believes in it. So yes, proponent of women empowerment, and very, very happy to hear more thoughts and problems and solutions to that.
Sure. Yes. Problems and solutions, like you rightly said. But now, last but not the least, the one who's waiting and the one who's really powerful. And I don't know, I've just spoken with her once, honestly, and I don't know what she thinks, but impressive enough and powerful enough is what I felt when I spoke with her. That's Meenakshi Sapru, who's with us. Meenakshi, please give your introduction. I'm sure everyone's going to feel the way I felt.
Thank you, Rajshri. In fact, if you remember, the first question I had for Shilpa and yourself was that why a salesperson should be in a panel of a doctor. So it was little, I think I could not accept it rather. But great, I've been hearing all these panelists here, and I think you did a great job, Rajshri, of putting me at the end, because as a salesperson, I am supposed to be summarizing for the audience that what is the takeaway from all this, whatever they heard of all these panelists. A great panel, in fact. I think the commonality of what I heard, everybody, I'm not going to name a single one, but I think the common factor which is coming out very clearly is that woman doesn't need, I think, a lot of encouragement. I think we are self-motivated to do it. So that's first thing which I think it's very common. If we believe it has to be done, I think we do it. We don't think twice that whether it is right or wrong. We are, I think, great risk takers in all this spheres of life. To begin with, I think what I would like to summarize is that if success is your success mantra, if that's your life mantra, it is irrelevant whether you are a woman or a man. I really mean it, and I have believed in this thought process throughout my life and career. It's been almost 24 years in my professional life. heading sales, heading business development, heading all spheres of business, I would say. I come from business. But that's been my mantra. And I always felt that it's good to be a woman. So many people ask me that, how can you manage a sales job being a woman? But I always felt it's a feather in my cap. Because when I don't want to work, Rajeshri, I'm being very upfront. When I don't want to work, I give all sorts of excuses of not being well and achieving my numbers. So that's been always a great factor, to be very blunt about it. And when we talk about woman empowerment, I think society can neither empower or empower a woman or anyone for that matter. So empowerment is a mindset. I strongly believe it's a mindset of what you feel at the end of the day. It has to emanate from core of one's heart. So it's basically a woman who has to decide whether I need to do it. It's the woman who should be awakened to her immense potential. She must have a longing in her heart to make difference to herself. That's my belief in the life. Okay, that's what I believe strongly. Now, a brief introduction of what people know about Meenakshi in market. Okay, so if you ask anybody in the marketplace, my customers whom I have dealt with for all these donkey years, selling very high value equipment. Okay, I'll briefly tell you about that in the later part of my introduction. So I've been always a hunter. People know me as a hunter. So when it comes to Meenakshi, they said, okay, it's somebody who hunts for opportunities, who hunts for to be successful in achieving her targets. And I have always hunted for differentiation in my life. And what I really mean by this, when I was a child, I hail from Kashmir. So I'm glad that I'm sharing a panel with another Kashmiri, that's Shilpa here. So I hail from Kashmir. We migrated out of Kashmir way back in 1989. So it was a tough time for all of us. But when I was studying there, my father, I don't know what happened. He wanted me to take up Urdu as a subject. And I had no clue of how to write Urdu. But I don't know, he had a belief system that if I take Urdu, I would get some good job in intelligence or something. So he wanted me to take up. So I was always different in class. So when I used to go to Urdu classes, they were all Mohammedans across with me. And I was only Hindu child sitting in that class and reading Urdu. So that was the first differentiation which I thought I had in my life besides other people. The second differentiation, which I truly felt was really a differentiation in my life, was taking up a printing engineering. So when nobody knew about printing engineering, I was the first person to take up printing engineering as a stream of for my profession. I was fortunate enough to get selected by Times of India Group. In fact, Times of India that year had come for campus interview, and I was being selected a first person from college to get to work in a production department. It was in the history of Times of India that the girl was working in a production environment, really wearing a boiler suit, going onto the press and working with the workers throughout the night, taking out Times of India newspapers, Bombay Times. I was the first person to bring out the color in the Times of India newspaper. So that's been really a great learning for me. Then it was really difficult after I got married. It was becoming a little difficult for me to balance my life and career. So I thought that I gave it a nice thought that whether I should continue or just get out of it, because I personally wanted to be with career, because going through all the hardships of coming out of Kashmir and then seeing all the difficulties of what my father did for my studies. So never wanted to give up. So I was firm in my thought process that I want to continue working. So I got a nice opportunity to work in a sales organization, that's Xerox, one of the wonderful organizations. I don't know how many of you know, but it is supposed to be one of the finest organizations to work as a sales profession. So I just want to relate that in 2002, selling an equipment of 1 crore was a real difficult job. So I was the first person to sell an equipment of worth 1.5 crore rupees to somebody in Bombay. It was being appreciated worldwide that it was simply impossible. And what really helped me do that, if I really go back to my past and think what I really did that moment of time, was nothing. That I truly believe that whatever I'm doing. So my sale never ended by selling a product to a customer. So I ensured that the customer is successful with this product. So he was actually becoming my salesperson. So he was actually going and telling everybody that if you want to buy this product, products are all same, technology is same, but what makes difference to this product is Meenakshi. So that was actually something which really motivated me to do further. And I changed a lot of roles in Xerox, whether it comes to business development, innovating new ideas of how to drive business. So that was my success mantra in Xerox. And then I worked for Hewlett Packard, one of the finest organizations again in sales, which was again a really difficult, but really a lot of learning in that job role, not only from the organization, but I got to learn. I traveled across the world, meeting a lot of customers, understanding their success stories, and just getting it back to India. So it was, I think, a wonderful journey for me in Hewlett Packard as well. Then I decided to move out of the printing industry. Thought of joining Reliance Retail. The Reliance Retail experience was, I think, a very diversified experience in terms of handling the work pressure, which we all know that Reliance is used to, and getting to work as an entrepreneur. So I was the person who actually set up all across the Reliance digital store, the processes of how we should serve customers. So handling those 2,000 stores, heading and making processes was something learning which I think most of the people won't have in the industry. Now, currently I am working as a sales head for Huhtamaki, one of the finest organizations to in packaging industry. So that's been my professional journey up till now. On the personal front, I am blessed with 2 kids and a wonderful husband who is always supportive and has been pushing me to do different things, crazy things in life. That's about my professional and my personal life. Besides my professional and personal life, I enjoy teaching. I have been associated with a lot of management colleges, teaching them about sales management. Trust me, when the first college approached me for delivering notes on sales management, they asked me which book would you refer? I said, no book. I'm not going to refer any book. I'm going to teach students of what I have learned throughout my life and practical knowledge. So I used to give them case studies of what actually I had faced with customers during my sales closures. So all the students, colleges, really appreciated of what I did for these students. And these students now, when they call me and they say thank you, they don't say thank you for my teaching. They said, what you taught us, we never forgot about those lessons, because we are actually practically able to implement that in our lives and professional lives. So that's all about me, Rajshri. I look forward to further interaction with you and the rest of the team here.
So in fact, all the introductions went really quite in depth. So, I in fact had quite a few questions to you, and a lot of you already landed up, sharing most of the stories. That, for example, I did want to ask Rajalakshmi what sort of inspired her to, how did she actually get into so much of media, and how could she really dare to be there? But she in fact expressed to us that already. So I think I would, since we have to also look at the time of the session that is going on, and we've already crossed about 3,000 people listening into us. So you can imagine that it has been very engaging, and I would want to keep them engaged. So I am thinking of doing a quick rapid fire, and before that, I'm going to really give a quick introduction of me, because sometimes that sort of gets left out. So you all, of course, all of you all really know me, but just to give a quick introduction to the viewers, I have spent about 2 decades of my work journey in strategic marketing, brand building, market development, continuing medical education, now of course extensively into the field of nutrition and integrative healthcare management. Currently I'm actually very fortunate to be able to run 3 ventures of mine. One, which is of course into nutrition products, which are developed specifically where drugs and other therapies fall short. And we do know in these COVID times really that we are realizing nutrition and its importance more and more. So we are working on nutrition as therapies in terms of products, but also in terms of a lot of standard operating procedures that we are putting together. And of course, I'm doing a lot of work with Dr. Wag, Shilpa here, and quite a few more people as well. So very happy to do that. And apart from that, I also run a company which is about 2 decades old, and which was my first entrepreneurial stint, which was into communications. So I'm very passionate, just as Meenakshi said, that very much a marketing and a branding buff, if you call me. I'm all inspired by my father through all my years. And why this initiative is something which I would want to quickly add my story to it, is of course the other day on one of our shows, Dr. Wag mentioned that you should actually see the men around you. And really so, ma'am, I've sort of my parents never brought me up as a daughter. I'm the only child, so I was brought up both as a daughter and a son. So there was no differentiation. So the gender equality thing which Sonia was mentioning to me, there's nothing like that. We are really brought up the same. And one fine day, I still remember, we were at a restaurant, and this was after my daughter was born. And I did have a decent career where I had, of course, worked in India, and I did work 4 years in Manhattan, and was back from there. And when my daughter was born, I think she must have been a year old, and we were at a restaurant eating food. And my mom was telling me how I should sort of make sacrifices so that I can look after my daughter and keep work aside and look after her. And I just asked my mom a question. I said, Mom, but if I do that, it's going to defeat your entire journey of making sacrifices for me. You made sacrifices for me, and now I'm supposed to make sacrifices for my daughter. So if I do that, it's defeating all your efforts you took. And that was the fine day when I sort of realized that even though I'm going to take a little bit of backseat or slow down my work, I won't stop working. I kept working, doing a lot of consultation. And at the same time, started building this initiative called Beauty with Brains. And of course, over a period, adding bravery to it was a must, which I realized. And here we are. I mean, I have been working on this before all these big Facebook groups came into existence. We talk about so much of women empowerment, but I think it's very personal to me. And I just think that, it is personal to so many of us. So, the way we could actually enrich ourselves and enrich others is really the perspective that I am bringing here on board. And someone did mention that, I can't remember though now, that, do we talk about what professionally is going wrong with us, and can we find solutions for it? Maybe this is a platform for it. We talk about lots of recipes anyways get shared, but and that was exactly an anecdote which I love to which I loved when was mentioned. So it is really that way. And if we have to put those recipes together, and at the same, I think Rupal did mention about it. You did, right? You were so much, and you're talking out of experience because you have spoken with so many women, and I really feel I could really equate you with that. So if we are able to, and you have experience, and if we can sort of take this forward in that way, I think nothing like it. I did see Purvi raising her hand. Purvi, if you can make the point quick, then I'm going to go with a quick rapid fire with everyone.
Sure. I think women supporting women is a huge part of women empowerment. Forget about what men do, whether they encourage us or not. But I think it's the women who need to support each other. There should be no room for jealousy. It may be a transient feeling, if at all, but I think it should be taken as a motivating factor if someone does better than you. And I think that's the
Truly,
crux of
truly,
it, first and
truly.
foremost.
Absolutely, truly. So if you all let me, I know none of you knows the questions, but I'm just going to rapid fire at you with some of them, which I also didn't know. I'm of course coming there, hearing to you all. I'm just going to ask you that, and
It's scaring
I
us.
scaring you.
Are we getting a hamper?
I don't think I can. That's a good one. But I don't think I can scare you. So, it's not. Well, I will in the end sort of recap on everyone also. But before that, the first rapid fire, which is very easy, and I'll tell you all the questions so you can be prepared. The first one really is about the critical success factors that you feel, one or two. We don't want too many, but which have been very, very critical for you to like Rupal said, that wherever we have gotten, it's not that we may have been super successful or whatever, but wherever we came up to, what has that been, and what are the virtues we sort of believe in, if you all want to mention out here. And again, that is something which is a personal question. If you want to pass it, we are okay. There are no hampers anyways. And the last thing, I would actually want each of you to pick one beauty out of the entire panel today, and who influenced you personally through just their talk, and if there is any virtue because of which you were influenced. The reason why I am doing this is it's not a competition, but is just that it's just thought-provoking for us to, if someone comes out getting too many call outs, then why? And if someone got influenced by someone, then why? I'm just going to leave us with those thoughts in our mind. So really, to go ahead with Shilpa, should I put you on spot so that it'll be easy on the others? If you want to sort of give the critical success factors that you think.
You have to again mention which Shilpa.
Yes.
Shilpa Tikku, of course. I can't put Shilpa Joshi on spot right now.
I think first I'm going to go really quick because I know we have so many people on the panel.
And then I think we'll probably Radhika did drop out, I think. Yeah, no, she's here. Oh, we will give her the opportunity because she does have some official meeting coming up. Okay.
I think, let Radhika go first because I think she has to drop off.
Yeah, Radhika, you can do it. You've answered all those questions the last time.
No, actually, I need to start the meeting now in like 1 minute. Why don't you go with the rest of them? I'll join you back after my meeting.
Sure. Perfect. That sounds good. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Shilpa.
Yeah, so I really think that one is women should have the power to negotiate. In the corporate world, I often see that women don't speak up for themselves and they don't negotiate. I think that's one of the biggest things. And second is owning their success. I often feel that when we as women often don't own our own success. We often say, oh, I got lucky, or it was the support of so-and-so person that helped me. While men, all the time, they pretty much say, we are so awesome. We totally deserve the success. I think that's one. I think we as women really need to stand up for ourselves and, own our success. I think pretty much these two are, I think the key factors that personally helped me.
Sure. Sure. Who wants to go next? Whoever. Quickly. Yeah, Sonia.
You're on mute, Sonia. You're on mute.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Sonia.
Yeah, no, so I think I just wanted to say that firstly, women should feel equal. And I think that's what I've always felt. Because I think to me, that's the most important success factor. If you feel that you're equal, sometimes even better than men, I think that's half the battle won. I think that and the dedication, like I think somebody mentioned also that men think they're awesome. I think we kind of lose steam somewhere because we don't get the support. But I think, I kind of like the dialogue sometime of Jab We Met, which is Main Apni Favorite Hu. As long as we can back ourselves and we can have our dreams very, very constant, I think that's what, I have met and presented to chief ministers and CEOs and whatever, and I've always felt equal. Most of the time, the person on the other side is a man, but I have never thought of that person as a man, woman, anybody. And I've always treated everybody as a person and what they bring to the table. And I think if we can do that and we can respect everybody around us, they'll feel empowered. And I think one thing that I would like to say is that we need to be empathetic. As women, we have the capability because that's the positive that we have, and lend a hand to other women. I think that's something that we lack. That's the other thing. Lend a little bit of support to somebody. Maybe they lack the belief, and sometimes maybe lend our conviction to that other woman. Because I think that's very important, because I have my own business and I know how difficult it is to run it in COVID times. So if I could lend somebody my conviction that things will be good, I think that's something which is very important. So conviction in yourself, dreaming big, being sometimes self-centered is good. While we are told to sacrifice, Rajeshri, I think it's good to be sometimes self-centric. Being equal, be as dedicated and hardworking, and be kind to yourself, and don't criticize yourself, and back yourself. I think those would be my messages to women today, because I think that's what will, and we have to feel that we are equal to men, if not better.
Sonia speaks for, I had said only 2 factors, but you can take, all of them are speaking so much. So, I don't want to say anything, but, we all are realizing how much we have to offer out here, So this is just the beginning.
I had to call out one person, right? That also you had asked us.
Oh yeah, please do that.
Yeah. So Rupali, that was the person.
Okay. So that is Rupal, yes.
Rupal, sorry, I'm sorry.
And why did you feel Rupal was the one?
Because I think believing in your own story is most important. And because my profession is also about connecting the dots and building stories. I think having a story and having a conviction and being real, or sometimes being in your dreams, everything is important. So the story is important.
Sure. I think Meenakshi wants to go next.
Yeah. So what I want to convey through this forum to all the women is that one is be fearless. So that's something which I really feel sometimes, that women feel that they need to be scared. They need to be, they can't do this. So that's been my key message to all the women across, whether I'm working with my women colleagues. So that's been my key message to all the women in my professional life. Second is that believe in yourself. I had so many incidents rather, where we had, because I have always worked in a men-oriented environment. So on my sales job also, I just had all the men around, and I was the only girl in that environment. So when it used to come to negotiating, because we always used to deal with very high value deals of 10 crores, 1 crore or something like that. So many times I was being told that, Meenakshi, you can't come for a sales call because it's going to end up late. But I always had that say that what happens if I am there on the sales call at a late night? No, probably your family doesn't allow. I said, my family allows it completely. Trust me, Rashi, I had so many occasions where I was traveling across India, taking night flights, closing sales deals, coming back to Bombay and attending my kids' school. So that's something which all as a woman or upcoming breed has to understand. Never give up. So even if situations demand, if you believe in yourself, you have trust in yourself, nothing should stop your dream. So keep dreaming. Don't stop dreams.
Sure. And a person whom you were influenced with?
Rupal, of course. So her conviction of connecting dots and talking to a lot of women about creating stories is something which is really inspiring.
Thank you.
So thank you, Rupal, for getting that out too.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
I can.
Yes, Rajeshri, Rajalakshmi, not Rajeshri.
Oh, can I go next? Sorry.
Okay, Rupal, you can go next. Okay, fine.
So single thing. Is time tak shadi karni hai, is time tak bacha. So we have to take that power from within ourselves sometimes and from people around us, and take that autonomy of choice. Make those choices for yourself. And third, like Sonia said, if you have achieved even 10% of success in whatever field you are, it's your responsibility to help another woman. Keep passing, just build this chain and keep passing this around. That's all.
And who, a couple of them were impressed with you. Whom were you impressed with?
I'm very impressed with Radhika's journey a lot. I've always been impressed. She's inspired me a lot in her journey, the risk she has taken.
No, but no, Rupal, no. You know her already. You can, someone from the panel today.
Miss Girija Wagh's opinions. I think the conviction that she spoke from and what she said was so solid. I love like you said, the objectivity that she brought. I think it's very important to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, this is the problem that we have. Let's now find solutions around it. So I love that.
Sure, great. I think Raji, you want to be the next? Yeah. You are muted, Raji.
Yeah, very firstly, I feel that, each one of us, we should find our own purpose. We should find our purpose. We should be able to, like a lot of you said here, we should be able to dream, find that purpose. So think about what exactly you want to do. And now actually during this lockdown period, a lot of us, have been able to think about whether we are really happy doing whatever we have been doing all this while, and to reinvent ourselves, to rethink, So find a strong purpose. That, according to me, would be the first step towards, that is the first step, and that is half your journey achieved, finding the right purpose. And then the next one, the second one, which I would say, is that, if we are able to help enough people around us achieve what they want to achieve, then, they will all make this dream team, they will all come together, they will all help us achieve what we want to achieve. Because, then whatever dream we may have, whatever purpose we may have, we all need something called as a dream team. We need people around us to support us. We need people around us to build us up. So like I was telling you, Rajeshri, during your panel also, that, if people around us, everybody is like working in another direction or pulling us down, so then that doesn't really help. So it's one thing to say that, yeah, I can work like a one-man army and I will achieve something. But then it always helps, and it's always easier, and it's always more achievable if, everybody around you rallies around you and supports you and, helps build you up. So in a way, the entire society will benefit if each one of us can help somebody else. So they will also, you will have a lot of goodwill. You will be sending out positive vibrations in the universe. And then that is how, like they say, the entire universe will conspire to make your dream possible. They will, that is what will happen. So that, according to me, is the second part of it.
Super. And who was the person you were impressed with?
Yeah, I was also impressed by Dr. Girija Wagh. Okay. She was, I mean, it's very difficult to pick somebody, actually.
Yeah, which I agree. You especially have to be politically correct. Yeah, having to be in front of Arnab is not easy.
No, I speak my mind. I mean, so there is nothing about being politically correct, but then it's very difficult to pick a choice. But yeah,
sure. So, Lata, yes.
Yeah. So I feel the first thing which we have to learn is when to say no. It is very, very important based on your perspectives, principles, and whatever, that you should learn to say a no when it is needed. Second, ask. Don't feel shy. You can ask. And last but not the least, learn from all the difficulties which you face. Because I would just say, I would not label anybody has taught me anything. It's my difficulties which have taught me. And unless I had looked at my difficulties and analyzed it with all the perspectives who were causing me those difficulties, I don't think so I would have learned my lessons. So all the difficulties have to be appreciated, learn to say no, and lastly, ask. That's it. And I would also go with Girija, ma'am, because somewhere I feel empowering the women rightly will change the society hugely. Thank you.
Perfect. Neeta, did you want to go next?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. A lot of the success mantras have already been said by so many from the panel, but I would just like to say two things. My first
no, but I want to hear what you really feel from your core. So
right,
even if it's a repetition, that's fine.
No, I'll tell you what I feel from my core. One is the self-conviction. Self-conviction to know that I can succeed come what may. So it really doesn't matter what other people think, whether my image is going to go down or what is going to happen, or this is out of the societal norms. No, if you believe that you're doing right, that self-conviction is enough to see you through. So that is number one. The number two thing which I feel very strongly about is a fitness of a different kind, a fitness of physical, mental, and spiritual. If all these three together are there in you, that fitness is enough to see you through every storm. It is enough to see you and just make you sail through and succeed and achieve what you want. Because if you're not physically fit, if you're not spiritually strong and inclined that way, you will not be able to cross the hurdles or look at everything with equanimity in whatever you have. And it's very difficult to go ahead. So these three attributes, I think, have made me go through whatever I wanted and achieved what I wanted.
That's great. And who's the person who impressed you?
Well, my answer for that.
Very inquisitive.
Yeah, my answer for that is that I will not be able to pick one. All of these stories together to me are one big story of success. And to me, this entire group is one, and I'm impressed with the whole group.
That's politically correct and also correct and also correct. So, yeah, we will let you get away this time. Okay. Who wants to go next?
Can I go next?
Okay. Ma'am, yes, Lotika ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, the critical success would be that, first fix your goals and then stay true to your goals, because work towards, then I don't think anybody or anything can stop you. Nobody can stop you towards what you want to work for. And the second thing is always have a very good circle of friends, a very close group of, a few of them are there on this group. Neeta's there, Puri is there, Shilpa is there. And, you should have friends who can, really tell you what exactly is happening and whether things are, who you can, bounce ideas off, you can talk to and discuss plans, things like that, which can support your growth. These are two things that I believe in. And like Neeta said, actually, everybody in this group is really wonderful. I mean, each success story has been really so nice. Each person has been a huge inspiration. But if I were to choose one, I would choose Meenakshi, because I thought that her story was a little, was good also. And so that is my point of view.
Yeah. Okay, great. Great. Who's now only a couple of them are left.
Can I go next?
Yeah. Girija ma'am, I think. Or whoever.
Neha.
You're muted, ma'am. Yeah.
Neha, let Neha speak.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Neha. Yeah, ma'am, I think you can close it at the end. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the two things that come to my mind is firstly, count your blessings, because when I heard everyone speak, it seems that all of us have been born into very well-to-do families with supportive parents and, from the whole family itself. So I think that's really important that we understand, and I can do whatever I want. Who will stop me? There's no one who can question me. A lot of people don't have those opportunities. So count your blessings that you already have that head start, because it will make you humble and you'll be able to relate better to other people's issues. Second thing which has really worked for me, and I think it works for all of us, is that surround yourself with people who are positive and who are like-minded, because they help you go further in life and they're not pulling you down. And like they say, the 5 people around you, the closest ones, they kind of, you are a amalgamation of those 5 who suggest, whether it was honest. So I don't think I can choose between the two, because the common thing which I found between them was enthusiasm. They have a lot of clarity in what they want to do, and also they've been able to put a lot of their thoughts into actions. So I think that's
well,
my
another
take.
thing, they are with women, so you are lucky as well. And then I want you to close it. Yeah, Purvi,
Hi.
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm impressed by all of you, and like all of us are, quite interested in knowing more about each other. But I think first thing that worked for me was self-belief. Like most of them, I'm being coherent again. The second thing was remaining determined and focused, because when others see that you are determined about something, I think somehow things fall in place. A lot of things fall in place. Third thing is standing up for oneself. So you stand up for yourself no matter how, these are correlated qualities or virtues, but they are important. And hard work, planning is very, very important for women, more so than men, because we are expected to multitask. We have being well in advance, remaining humble and God fearing. So that may be a religious thing, but just remaining humble and be yourself. You don't have to emulate anybody else, and that just works. You don't have to do anybody else except yourself. You just have to do you.
Great.
That's
Great.
And yes, I have a personal bias towards Dr. Neeta, Dr. Lotika, Shilpa, and the other Shilpa also, and Rajshri, you, because I've known you. But very impressed with all the stories, and I think Dr. Girija Wagh really inspires me too.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm doing today when I see that my own, clan is wanting to appreciate whatever I'm doing, and I'm really, really feeling. I have been inspired by each one of you today here for the confidence. That's me about Rajshri, where that come to your way, because good is going to inspire you. Be honest always to yourself and your purpose. Have a huge self-belief in yourself, and that is important because that's only going to hit you the best. And most importantly, share whatever little you have. I'm a professor, I'm a teacher. I even love to educate my patients. When I'm speaking to my patient, especially pregnant moms, I tell them that you are creating the society and I'm creating that society through you. So even if I scold you sometimes, you'll have to listen to me, because as long as your babies are inside you, they are my babies. And therefore, we are going to look after you. You have to connect, you have to share. One person really personally inspired me a lot today, and that's she. And
when we finished, you said, you were having some cold, and you said, now I'm feeling very, very much more energetic. So how do you feel today now with all of these many more energetic women?
Hot seat, I'm feeling nice.
Well, I'll also take my turn at something similar to what Rajalakshmi said. Is I think purpose. It isn't something which easily comes to us, but we all need to really find our purpose. And once we find it, we have to be resilient, I think. There will be a lot of things that will come our way, which will sort of deter us from it, but stay resilient. And of course, just as a couple of you mentioned, Dr. Latika mentioned that, we have to sort of have friends who will sort of keep us going. And I think even Nia said that, we have to have positive friends together, but be resilient yourself, really. So that empowerment to me also comes from within. And the virtue which I truly believe is keep giving. And I think you keep giving and don't expect anything in return. yeah, you said, you know, count on your blessings. So, you know, you have to keep giving whatever you've got. And that's, these are three things that I believe in. I really can't point out anyone whom I'm impressed with, but because I know more, all of you from the beginning. But if I think, Shilpa, you wanted to say something before we already have such brilliant inputs together that, you know, I am completely mesmerized. So,
you know, thank you everybody for coming together and sharing your opinions and your views. I think this has been all the viewers too. And, you know, hopefully moving forward, I think, you know, it would be nice if we would all get an opportunity to maybe have more sessions like this. And
sure, please go ahead.
I think by putting up this extremely energetic panel across together, with so many years of experience, you've done a wonderful job. Even if this panel, the takeaway from this panel inspires 1% of the women in the audience, I think you have done a great job.
Absolutely.
It's really, it's a time for us, as I think all the women here on the panel, to give back to society of what we have learned through our hardships. So if anybody has any question in the audience and they want to connect with us, please feel free to connect with us on our personal email IDs or whatsoever. Whatever we can help audience with.
And I'm sure we will get, before I forget, before I close the session, I want to thank my team. And of course, it is a team of men. All this lockdown and the fear also, they have been working remotely, but helping me put this together. Without them, this really quick. And when I said I can't pick any of the favorites, I still want to put all those points that you have put together. Shilpa mentioned that, you know, own your success. And Shilpa, you do resonate that from your personality. So when we see your pictures, they speak for, they have been such a great support to me as well. So always a fallback option. And thank you for being there for me. And, you know, you're going to open doors for so many more people, which you've already been doing. Meenakshi, I would say, Meenakshi said, believe in yourself, and she is absolutely she's like a time bomb. She heads sales, and mentioned about it that, you know, it's just self-realization that, ma'am, we have also been doing it, which is the reason why I think we admire her. Totally believe, like I said, take the responsibility to take. Sort of try to take us forward, this whole thing in the forward direction, because a lot of people have also said that they were very simple thing, right, Lata? But that's the most difficult thing for us, you know, to say no. I know Dr. Neeta was saying that to me earlier. Neeta did mention, and she also resonates that. I can't see her on the panel right now out here, but she said you have to be physically, spiritually strong, and look at her personality. She does resonate that. And she is doing so much at hand, and I'm sure we will do a complete show on her where she can actually inspire many more women like her. Lotika madam actually has, she said we have to be true to our goals, and that is, you know, you have to have goals and you have to be true to your goals. So excellent, excellent inputs with Neha saying that you have to count your blessings, and which we never realized, but Neha, that's what this group is about, that we are counting our blessings. We are where we are, and we have to propel ourselves beyond this. And how can we do that? By really coming together with the right set of friends, which we will develop or further develop through this group, I would say. And like Dr. Wag, that, you know, we have to rise above the mundane, while we stay humble. Great thoughts that we have left back with, and we have to keep dreaming with it and propel ourselves further. Before we, Shilpa, we were just about to end the session, but we would definitely want to know your thoughts as to what you think are the virtues that, what are the critical success factors in your career, and what are the virtues that you believe in, and who is the person who inspired you today? Shilpa?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yes, that was a question. Shilpa?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yes,
I
that was the
just joined
question.
in.
We are
I
all
just joined in.
we
I
are
had a
all
patient.
done. We are
I'm
closing
sorry.
the show.
I had
We're
to
gonna
speak to the patient. That's
we have to close the show with you. So
okay.
these three things and we.
So first of all, everybody is an inspiration. So there is no one person.
Okay.
Politically correct. I have a lot of friends here on panel, and I have known others today, but I have known friends. Neeta has been my friend. Lotika is my friend. Purvi, and these women have always inspired me with what they do for the society and whatever they have done for me. So they are a huge source of inspiration for me. But beyond that, yes, everybody is in the way they do. So that's the inspiration. And what else? Sorry.
That's really it, and I think we are going to end our session on that, unless someone wants to say anything at the end, and we will end the session. So viewers, thank you so much for always being there to motivate us and inspire us. I haven't got the last numbers, but the last ones that I had got were somewhere around 3,000 people attending us, and we will come back soon with each of them with an individual show, and I take a promise from all of you. Yeah, my team is telling me 5,000 plus people have seen us today. So thank you so much for gathering together. And like Meenakshi said, even if 1% of that is inspired by our thoughts today, we've done a lot. Okay, thank you so much, and bye bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye. Stay safe.
We're live now.